For a long time, I thought perfectionism was my greatest strength. I believed that if I worked hard enough, achieved enough, and built the perfect future for myself, everything would finally feel secure. But instead of making me confident, perfectionism slowly turned into anxiety. And the strange thing is, it didn't look like anxiety from the outside. It looked like ambition. When I was younger, I didn't even know what anxiety was. I was the kid who talked too much in class, ran everywhere during recess, and never worried about whether I was good enough. But somewhere along the way, that changed. I started believing that life was a competition I had to win, that being almost good enough was dangerous, that if I wasn't exceptional, I might fall behind forever. And once that belief enters your mind, it changes everything. I started filling my life with achievements, projects, activities, plans, more goals, more expectations. On the surface, it looked like progress, but internally, something else was happening. I wasn't chasing curiosity anymore. I was chasing reassurance. I believed that the next achievement would finally make me feel secure. But the finish line kept moving. There's a story in Greek mythology about Sisyphus. He was punished to push a rock up a mountain for eternity, only for it to roll down every single time he reached the top. When I first heard that story, I thought it sounded absurd. But later, it felt strangely familiar. Because sometimes achievement works the same way. You reach one goal and immediately feel the pressure to chase the next one. Not because you want to, but because you're afraid of stopping. What eventually changed my perspective wasn't suddenly becoming fearless. I didn't eliminate anxiety. I just started asking a different question. What if the point of effort isn't perfection? What if the point is understanding who you are? Not every project succeeds. Not every plan works out. Not every effort leads to immediate results. But effort still shapes you. Over time, I started helping other students through similar journeys, and I noticed something interesting. Most people aren't lacking talent. They're lacking permission. Permission to be imperfect. Permission to grow slowly. Permission to not turn their entire identity into achievement. Somewhere along the way, many of us learned the same dangerous idea, that our value depends on how impressive we are. But life is not an IPO. You don't need to package yourself into the most marketable version possible just to deserve a future. You're allowed to be unfinished. You're allowed to figure things out slowly. I still care about doing things well. I still have high standards for myself. But I no longer believe that perfection will bring peace. Because the truth is, perfection isn't what makes life meaningful. Learning who you are along the way is.